Today we're doing a ramble on inside, as the weather's been so bad lately, but also it's Bob Dylan's 80th birthday on the 24th of May. So we'll have a look at some of the memorabilia that I've got over the years. This painting was done by my good friend Richard Hubbard, and when you look very closely, the song titles on his jacket, there's 341 song titles there that were all painted on by hand. What an amazing thing. And he gave it to me for a present. So we'll start with that and then we'll go up to my Bob room. Before we go up to the Bob room, just have a little look at, these are only cards and prints, but it's some of Bob's art. I'm very biased, but they are fantastic and certainly brighten my kitchen wall up. Here's where the collection started, when my son-in-law bought me this canvas, Little White Wonder, all beautifully illustrated. And then if we move across the same wall, we've got 3 t-shirts in frames. The blinds are actually interfering a little bit, but you get the idea. And then on this table here, we've got plenty of magazines that I've collected over the years. We'll have a closer look at this bookshelf in a minute. And we'll have a look at the other walls now. Here's some of the posters which weren't easy to bring back in one piece from the various concerts. I was a little bit late to the party actually, because my first concert was this one, which was Birmingham NEC, November 2003. It's outstanding in my memory, not just because it was the first one, but because we got held up in the fog on the way there on the motorway, and we only just made it by seconds. And on the overnight stay in the travel lodge, we were woken up at 4 o'clock and all had to go onto the car park because of the fire alarm. Then they go right through. We've got the last one here, there, Verona. That was the last time I saw him, which was very memorable, special magical evening. And you'll see there I went to Rome and Florence too. Oh, and Cardiff. Not quite as exotic. Then on this wall we've got, the blinds interfering again, we've got some big posters. And some more over there. And up here, some handbills. Various things. Halcyon Gallery. This is a tour handbill and a famous psychedelic print. These covers here, Uncut magazine did a special sequence for Bob's 70th birthday where it was exactly the same magazine but with 4 different covers, going from young Bob, slightly older Bob, medium Bob and older Bob. So that was inexpensive but couldn't be missed to buy all 4. Some other prints here. And then over here we've got, that's a collage or would you say montage? Well, it's theme time radio hour anyway. One of my favourite quotes from Bob: "A man is a success if he gets up in the morning and goes to bed at night and in between does what he wants to do." Very true. A couple of Bob mugs. Calendar. A memento of the Verona concert. And Girl from the North Country. It's a great musical that I managed to see 4 times and actually got into the dressing room to get Shirley Henderson's autograph. And Kieran Hines, Shirley Henderson and Kieran Hines. Then if we have a look here, we've got the Bob calendar, and over here 4 coasters with different album covers that a good friend bought me. And in this little tin we've got, this is called a Geo coin. Apparently, I think you meant to pass it on to somebody, but my friend Ira gave me this, so it's staying, definitely staying with me. And Girl from the North Country badge. I like that one. And it's in a little tin for those sort of things that actually says, it's very faint on it, but Dylan. There we are. Then over here, book. This is the Village Voice, which is a free newspaper that's published in Greenwich Village, and this is the absolute last edition, September 2017. Yeah, it says there, final edition. Bob on the front because he spent a lot of time in Greenwich Village, and my friend Ira in the States got that for me. Then over here, again my kind son-in-law, look at this fabulous box. It says Bob Dylan there, and when we open it up, we've got this on the back, nice picture, and it's a lovely notebook. Obviously will never be used, so that's that one. And then here I've got all the concerts that I've ever seen, all the set lists, the date and the ticket. So there's the first one, Birmingham, and flip through some right through to the last one, Verona. And in between time there's all sorts of destinations: Royal Albert Hall, Wembley, London Palladium, Bournemouth. And we had the great privilege of Bob coming to Blackpool, where I used to live, for 3 consecutive nights, which was really very special. And I organised a trip on a tram and a fish and chip lunch for lots of the fans that came from all over the UK. We had a chap from Sweden, and Ira, the friend from America, he came along too. So I've made some great friends with the various Bob concerts. I've got a super Scottish contingent who've looked after me. Paul, Walker and David, or as Walker said, is it actually me that looks after them? The second gig that I went to, oh no, it wasn't the second, it was the fourth, I think. Did Newcastle, Manchester, where is it? Sheffield. There we are, Sheffield. I went on a sort of a minibus from Blackpool that came back after the concert. I had absolute rubbish seats somewhere up in the gods, and the minibus arrived back at 4 o'clock in the morning, having dropped everybody off at every village between Sheffield and Blackpool. But then soon after then, I was lucky enough to get in touch with John Baldwin, who was very kind to us all, and he got us tickets, really good seats for many of the shows afterwards. I think the most epic journey that I did was 2017. Let's go for that. Travelling by train, which was infinitely better than on the minibus. Yeah, here we are, 2017. Started off at the London Palladium, 3 nights. Moved on to Cardiff. Then down to Bournemouth. Back up to Nottingham. Glasgow. Liverpool. I said it was epic. And back down to London for Wembley. Then we've got in the back here, lucky enough to have been to New York a few times and been on the Dylan trek round Greenwich Village. There's Jones Street, where famous album cover. We've got the Cafe War, where Bob did some of his first stints there. And we've got MacDougall Street, which is where he lived with his wife Sarah in the 60s. The Halcyon Gallery, Bond Street. Been there several times. In fact, one year I won 2 tickets to press night. And at the time I didn't know anybody. I hadn't got my little group of friends then. And nobody that I knew wanted to go. So I went on my own. But got some lovely things in the press pack. Some cards. A whole folder here with all sorts of prints in, bigger cards. I've managed to get the catalogue for most of his exhibitions. This is Mondo Scripto. And The Beaten Path, which are probably some of my favourites in there. We've got the Silk Screen collection. They're all beautiful, these catalogues. And we'll have a look over at the bookshelf now. All the CDs in chronological order. Various books. This is a nice CD box. Quite a few years ago now. When you open it, there's a little illustrated book. The CDs themselves are very nicely done in the style of vinyl. haven't actually played, well, I haven't actually got a working CD player at the moment, but that was very special. And let's have a look at some of the other bits and bobs. This is a lovely book. It was very heavy to bring back from the bookshop. We've got music, we've got pictures, words, a little bit of history to the song. I like this one here, this car, registration number CYN, which is actually the initials of my name. Really, really nice book, this. And then a couple of boxed sets, which hark back to the days of cassettes. Nice little book. Three cassettes. Similar with this one. Three cassettes. And a little book. And then I'd actually forgotten that I'd got this. It's the Mondo Scripto book, where Bob's own handwriting and a little illustration for several of his songs. And in fact, here are the very tickets that I won. Here's the letter telling me that I have won a pair of tickets, and here, here's the ticket that says admits to Champagne, etc. Halcyon Gallery. So then I've got 4 of the big hardback books with the various exhibitions. Where's Bob? And this one's Mood Swings, and they're all the metalwork, the ironwork that he does. Another branch of his art, and they go for amazing prices. Then we've got Drawn Blank, which I think was, yeah, that was the first one. I think I've carried all these from Bond Street back to my car, or the train brought them home on the train. So we've got Drawn Blank, we've got the Brazil series, which isn't perhaps as well known. Quite different really, darker colours. So we've got the Brazil series, and then the Beaten Path, which are my favourite ones. Oh, one of my friends has just bought that one. Beautiful pictures, paintings. full of colour. This is quite a quirky one, the Bob Dylan Playbook. Again, my son-in-law got me this, so we have got, so there's a little doll type thing and clothes to, I don't think they were ever intended to be cut out or anything like that, but there's little games, very clever really, outfits. So that's that one, and then here, Bob Dylan Scrapbook. Oh, that's the same picture that's on the front of the, here it is, the Village Voice, isn't it? There we are. And this is really good. There's all sorts of things in here, like that fold out and pull out, and just like a scrapbook that you've made yourself with tickets in. And let's take this out. Very well put together. Does this do? Sure, that does. Gosh, a very early one now. So there's plenty more, but I think you're probably losing the will to live now. Yeah, we've got, can't go without saying, Derek and Tracy do a wonderful job with the, well, I suppose you could call it a fan club, the Bob Dylan Isis magazine. Got quite a few there, loads and loads of other books. More up here, but my collection is nothing compared to some people who've got, well, hundreds of books. They've seen him hundreds of times. I've got boxes of press cuttings and things, but I stopped doing those ages ago. So there we are, you've had a little look around my Bob room. Hope you enjoy it. And what a guy, 8 years old on the 24th. I couldn't just finish there without a word of explanation about the Bob Dylan Isis fan club magazine. It comes from Bob's 1976 album, Desire, and the song I Married Isis on the 5th day of May. So it's nothing to do with the Middle Eastern Islamic group, just so that clears that up. And finally, the latest book that I've just bought is this one, with all the photos by Paolo Brillo, who contributes regularly to the magazine, and this covers all his, well, not all his concerts, but concerts from 1989 to 2019, and there's some wonderful photographs in here that a lot of the concerts that I've been to here. So it's a lovely book to have, and Paolo's signed, well, he signed all the copies which came through from Derek and Tracy at Isis. Okay, so we'll finish there. Hope you enjoyed it. A bit of a change from rambling on round the villages. Hope the weather improves soon and we'll go again.